At Christmas dinner, my mother-in-law shouted, "She can't give you a child, leave her." Everyone nodded. Then my husband placed the adoption papers on the table and made an announcement that plunged the room into silence. "Leave her, she can't give you a child." My mother-in-law's voice bounced off the dining room walls and came back sharper. The Christmas dinner plates, the smell of gravy, the cheap red wine glasses, everything froze in a single moment. I tightened my grip on the fork in my hand so no one would see it tremble. Everyone nodded. Actually nodded. Like they were agreeing with a weather forecast. I looked across the table at my husband, Adam. His jaw was set tight. He usually stays quiet when his mother talks. But that night there was something else in his eyes. Exhaustion, maybe anger. Or maybe the line a person can only have crossed so many times. That we had been married for 3 years. 3 years of hormone shots, doctor appointments, insurance battles, and those nights when I sat on the bathroom floor and cried quietly so Adam wouldn't hear me. I lost my factory job last year, and since then we'd been living off his paycheck from the electric company and my part-time diner shifts. The IVF bill still hung over our credit card like a sarcastic reminder that I'm just telling the truth. My mother-in-law, Diana, said again. "A man needs to carry on his name." Adam slowly placed his napkin on the table. He didn't look at me. He looked straight into his mother's eyes. "Mom, stop. Why should I? Everyone knows." She glanced at my father-in-law. He sat quietly, like he always does. "She can't give you a baby. You're still young." Instead of something inside me shattering, a strange calm settled over me. Maybe when the same wound gets hit enough times, it goes numb. Adam pushed his chair back. For a second I thought he'd walk out like he had before. Instead, he reached into the inside pocket of his jacket and pulled out a thick envelope, placing it in the center of the table. The sound of paper sliding against wood echoed in the quiet room. "What's that?" Diana asked, narrowing her eyes. Adam opened the envelope and straightened the top sheet. "Adoption papers. We've signed them." The room fell into real silence. Outside, snow drifted down, and the heater hummed softly. Diana said, like the word tasted bitter. "Me and Katie," he said, taking my hand. "We're joining a foster-to-adopt program next month." I squeezed his hand. We'd made that decision 6 weeks earlier, sitting in a small coffee shop after finding out our 3rd IVF cycle had failed. That was the day I told him maybe the problem wasn't my body, it was our idea of what a family was supposed to look like. Diana let out a sharp laugh. "Someone else's child? Are you trying to embarrass me?" "No," Adam said calmly. "I'm standing by my wife. And by myself." I had never heard him speak so clearly. His voice didn't shake. "That you're giving up your blood," Diana said. "My blood?" Adam leaned forward slightly. "Mom, the doctor told you it wasn't just Katie. You just didn't want to hear it." Diana's face drained of color. The truth had always been shared between us, but Adam never let me tell her. He'd said it wouldn't change anything, just start another fight. "That's not true," she whispered. "Yes," he said gently. "It is. And the truth is, I'm not leaving my wife." For the first time that night, I took a full breath. It wasn't revenge in the loud, dramatic way people imagine. It was truth, quiet and steady, after years of being swallowed. Dinner ended there. We put on our coats and walked through the snow to the car. Once inside, Adam turned on the heater and rested his forehead against the steering wheel. "I should have done that sooner," he said. "We did it now," I replied. "That's enough." The weeks that followed weren't magically easier. Diana stopped calling. My father-in-law sent one short text, "If you're happy, that's what matters." My diner shift stretched late into the night, and foster agency classes filled our weekends. We were exhausted. Sometimes we argued, about money, about time, about whether we were strong enough to be parents at all. But something inside me had shifted. I wasn't just the woman who couldn't have a baby. I was someone making a choice. I sat down one night and listed our debts, building a payment plan line by line. I started volunteering at the community center, helping kids with homework after school. For the first time, I felt like my worth wasn't tied to a biological outcome. Then one evening, we got a call. A 3-year-old girl named Mia needed a temporary placement. We drove to pick her up. She was small, quiet, watching us with wide, cautious eyes. She carried a tiny backpack and an old teddy bear that looked like it had been through more than any child should have to endure. At home, she sat on the kitchen floor and studied our dog, who wagged his tail gently in front of her. After a few minutes, she smiled, soft and unsure. There was no dramatic music, no instant transformation. Just a small possibility unfolding in our living room. The first few nights were awkward. Mia woke up crying once, disoriented in a new space. I sat beside her bed and whispered that she was safe. Adam read her the same picture book 3 nights in a row because she pointed to it each time. Slowly, routines formed: breakfast cereal with too much milk, cartoons on Saturday mornings, small hands reaching for hours in parking lots. A few days later, there was a knock at the door. When I opened it, Diana stood there. She looked smaller somehow, like anger had been eating at her from the inside. "Can I see her?" she asked. I glanced at Adam. He gave a small shrug. "If you come in with respect," he said. Diana stepped inside. Mia was in the living room, stacking blocks with intense concentration. She looked up and said simply, "Hi." Diana's expression flickered. The hardness in her face loosened for a brief second. She knelt down slowly. "Hello," she replied, her voice softer than I had ever heard it. It wasn't a miracle. Our bills didn't disappear. The legal process was long and uncertain. There were home visits, background checks, paperwork that felt endless. Some days Mia clung to me, other days she pulled away, unsure if she could trust us yet. But something real was growing. Diana began stopping by occasionally. At first she stayed quiet, observing. Then one afternoon she brought coloring books. Another day she helped Mia bake cookies, flour dusting the counter like fresh snow. She never apologized directly, but the sharp edges of her words dulled over time. One evening, as Mia fell asleep on the couch with her head resting against Adam's chest, Diana looked at me. "She's wonderful," she said quietly. I nodded. "She is." The scream from that Christmas dinner still echoes in my memory sometimes. But it doesn't break me anymore. It reminds me that even when everyone at the table is nodding in agreement, it only takes one person to stand up and shift the room. Adam placed papers on that table that night, but what he truly declared was that I was not disposable. And that was the night I learned something else too. Becoming a mother isn't only about biology. It's about courage, the courage to choose love, to endure judgment, to build something new when the old dream falls apart. Motherhood, I realized, is not just the work of the body. It's the work of the heart. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more real, emotional journeys like this one. Your support truly means the world and helps us keep sharing stories that matter. Thank you for watching and being part of this community.